All right, guys, welcome for another great video. Today's objective, we're going to be able to solve quadratic equations having real solutions by factoring. Okay, so we want to talk about what is a solution in the first place. A solution for a quadratic equation can be one of three things. A solution can be described as a variable that is a value that makes it true. So for example, in our quadratic, our variable here is this x value, and this x value is represented by a number. And these solutions, it could be one, two, or no solutions at all, something similar that we've learned before in the past. When it comes to our zeros, it's the same thing as finding our zeros. All right, so our solutions and our zeros are the same thing. And in this instance, we're seeing that x can equal to 2 and make equal to 0, which will make this true, and also to -4. So now we're going to talk about how do we actually do that. So in our lesson today, in order to be able to find the solution of a quadratic equation using our graphing method or our decimals, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to type our first equation. So our first equation from the equal sign is the equation that's on the left. As always, our equations always start with a y equals 2, as we can see here in step 1. So x squared minus 8x, as you see here, is our first equation. The number on the other side of the equal sign is -16, which is a second part of our equation. Y equals to -16. All of our equations always start with y equals 2. So that brings us to step 2. Once we have a visual of our graphing, in order to identify the solution would occur where both equations are equal, or in this case, where they both meet. And where they both meet is at 4, -16, which makes our final answer x equals to 4 because we're solving for that x value. Let's try an example together. So in our first example, if I was doing my equations, right, first thing I'm going to do is rewrite my first equation right here, and that would be y equals 4x squared minus 100. So I'm just going to start by rewriting my equations first before I can use my tools. And the second part of the equation is just y equals to 0. Now, before I move on to step 2, I can now type into my equation. So I have y equals 4x squared minus 100, and then I have y equals to 0. Now I can just draw myself a quick sketch. So I have a red line, just as I see here, and it looks something like this. And it does not have to be perfect. It is definitely a sketch. And then I just so happen to have a blue line that is directly on the x-axis, which is completely fine. And I see a dot here, and I see a dot here where they both are intersecting. And as you can see, these gray dots, they really help us out here with our decimals. So as I can see, my two solutions for this equation is -5 and +5. So I'm going to put x equals to -5, and I'm going to write x equals again to +5. And those are my two solutions for this problem. I am done. Let's look at another example. So the same thing again. All of this right here is my quadratic equation. For instructional purposes, I'm going to go straight to my decimals. So I have 8x squared minus 8x plus 12. And my second equation is y equals to 0. As I can see, I'm going to make sure that I can visually see where they both intersect. Red and blue, which x is equals to 2, and x is also equal to 6. I'm going to fill in my 2 and my 6 here. I can see in my sketch, so make sure you're completing your notes here. On my sketch, I can see where they're completing. And again, it's just a sketch. I did not make this perfect at all. And I'm just going to put that one was 60 from my calculator. And that was also 20 from the calculator. And again, just rewriting your equation here on your notes. Just a reminder of what we're doing into the decimals, because decimals is a tool, not our end all be all. So it's super important that we know exactly how to use our tool properly. Okay. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed a great video. You're going to try some practice problems from here, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.